Hey everybody, Joan Zodianz here, and this is the first episode of 2019, but then also it's going to be the first episode of Zodianz Zundayz, right? I changed it from Zodianz Custom to Zodianz Zundayz with double Z's because I don't know, I liked it better. And I was like, yeah, it's not too late to change it, so fuck it. I'm still going to cuss a lot, so don't worry about it. It's all going to be there. As the first episode of the year, I thought it'd be nice to be very consistent, to do weekly planetary watches, but to do weekly astrology for you guys. And that's what I'm going to hear. That's what I'm here to do, right? Do my fucking job. Now, there's a lot of important things that we're going to discuss right now, but we're just going to do it week by week, and then I'm going to tell you guys, what to look out for, what not to look out for. Right now, we are headed into a very we're in a very Capricorn time right now, right? From Sunday to Monday, we do have a Capricorn moon, but then Mercury also just transitioned into Capricorn, and it will stay there until the 24th, 25th, depending on your time zone, all right? But we still have Capricorn and Saturn and Pluto, right? So we're experiencing all of this Capricorn. So what the fuck does it fucking mean? It means that a lot of us are going to be worrying about our career. A lot of us are going to be worrying about status, financial security. Can we provide or can we not provide for ourselves, for our family, right? And this is going to weigh a lot on people's minds, especially because it's in Mercury, which influences our thought process and our communication, all this other shit, right? When it comes to the mind. Now, it's going to add a lot of pressure in our lives too, because Saturn is in Capricorn, meaning the pressure to survive, to succeed in life will be very heavy right now. And whether you're going to crack or not, that will be up to the individual. But generally speaking, if you are an earth sign, pressure creates diamonds, right? Because it's such an earth thing, you got it. But for everybody else, you might feel a little bit aggravated. You might feel, weighed down by it. You might feel a little bit depressed about it if you're not where you're supposed to be right now. But this is where we create that self-awareness and you got to create that self-awareness with yourself. And you got to tell yourself, it's temporary. It's a temporary feeling right now. Well, at least until like the 25th. So it is very temporary. Now, having the Mercury in Capricorn means several things, right? It means that we are going to be planning small goals. I can't speak today. We're going to be planning small goals, long-term goals. These are, short-term, long-term goals. We're going to be thinking about how can we commit to certain things in our lives? How can we get rid of things that are not beneficial to us? Capricorn's motto is I use. So we're going to have to be a little bit more resourceful, a little bit more creative when it comes to, building ourselves up. Now, this type of pressure might crush people, right? So you're going to see it's going to separate the people who are weak and who are strong-minded. Right. And also, having a Capricorn there can also be better for people. It might give somebody a little bit more structure if they don't have any structure in place. But then it can also ground people, right? Or it's all about grounding your ideas. It's all about grounding your dreams right now so that they can, become realistic. Capricorn is a cardinal earth sign, so they are very realistic and very disciplined. Now, it's going to help you a lot if you have an earth moon. And if you have a earth sun, moon, and if you have, earth placements in Saturn as well, or some people like to use their rising, but I feel like the planets are more important than that. Now, if you don't have any earth in there, then this is what I'm talking about. You might feel crushed by the pressure. If you have a lot of air signs in your chart, right? If you have a lot of air signs, you're going to feel very constricted. You're going to feel like, limited by your opportunities because you want to break away from it. Air signs are very rebellious, especially when it comes to earth placements or earth signs, right? They're not earth. They're very opposite from that. Now, they don't want to be confined. They don't want to be, constrained. They don't want to be controlled. But Capricorn is a very controlling sign, right? Because they're very self-controlled. Now, this also means that And if you saw my zodiac horoscopes, you saw that a couple times the tower was there, right? Especially in Capricorn and Taurus. Now, if you don't know anything about tarot cards, having the tower there means that we have to break away from things, or things are breaking down from us, or you're going to have a mental, emotional breakdown, right? Now, this can also mean something. I mean, this could also apply to you or not apply to you. I don't fucking know. But when we have a breakdown, it means that we need to break away or shed old things, old habits. And this is very important to know too, that Venus is still in Scorpio, and it will stay in Scorpio until it transitions into Sagittarius on the 8th this week. So January 8th, which is going to be Tuesday, it's going to transition to Sagittarius. Now, why is that important? It's important because Scorpio, and if you follow me on Instagram and you follow my Instagram lives, then you already know this part. But having that Scorpio and Venus meant that we were holding on to past wounds. We were holding on to, toxic relationships. We were holding on to a toxic situation. And it could be in career, it could be in love, it could be in anything, right? But it's also, we were in a time where we were internalizing how we felt about everything. We didn't want to let it out. We were holding things in, like whether it be good or bad. Now, I'm not saying everybody held on to something toxic. It just meant that we were doing a lot of self-reflection. We were doing a lot of meditating, whether you choose to believe that or not. The veil was a lot thinner during that time. And it always is when there's water signs in play, right? When there's water signs in important planets. I'm not going to go on and on and on and on about it. But what I'm trying to tell you is right now, while it's still in Scorpio and that there's heavy, placements of Capricorn, we are starting to mold together what the depth of our life means. We're trying to add more depth to it. At the same time, we're trying to add goals to it. So this is a time to utilize the energy, not get broken down by it, if that makes sense for you. And hopefully that helps you. This is a time where Scorpio and Capricorn are working together to add meaning to your life, to inspire your life, to motivate you to do something better with your life, to look outside of yourself, to plan for the future. Yes, they're very narrow-minded, but they're going to add that focus for you, that hyper focus for you. So if you're not utilizing it to your benefit, then you're going to lose out on the energy. It's keeping it real with you. So if you haven't created your intent for the year, if you've been, slacking, if you've been fucking moping around because you're, the pressure to succeed is too much for you, bitch, then you need to get it the fuck together. Sit the fuck down, get your intent together, okay? Because that energy is only going to last until Tuesday when Venus transitions into Sagittarius. Now, when it transitions into Sagittarius, that's when you're going to start to see more aggression and frustration and impulsivity, right? This is what it means for Sagittarius and Capricorn to be together. They're right next to each other in the calendar, but then also they don't understand each other too. They are incompatible with each other. Now, it also means that, you're going to be more aggressive. People are going to be more insensitive, especially when it comes to relationships. It could be any relationship, right? Venus dictates love and relationships, but all relationships, professional, platonic, whatever it is. Now, you're going to find that people are not going to want to commit to things. People are probably going to backtrack on their resolutions during this time. Yeah, they're going to have a little bit more passion when it comes to relationships. Like if you're in a relationship, you might find that you might be a little bit more passionate about it. But then also at the same time, you're going to be more independent. So Sagittarians are very independent and they're very non-committed. So especially if you're making your intent now, you might feel constrained by it or limited by it. What you have to do, and this is where self-awareness comes in, you have to be honest with yourself. Like if you're that type of person who just cannot commit to like a New Year's resolution or even to a short-term goal, then you need to just redefine your intent. What is reasonable to you? What's realistic to you? Because even though during this time, it's a great time to plan for things, after Tuesday, you're going to find a lot of people who are just going to be like, I don't know. I don't know if I can do that. I don't know if I want to. This is a sign that likes a lot of freedom. This is a sign that doesn't want to be controlled, doesn't want to be tamed. Remember, Sagittarius is a centaur, so it's half horse, half man. And they're more of a philosopher too. So it could be like, you're redefining, naturally what relationships mean to you. Can you commit to the relationship you're in? Can you commit to, this professional relationship, this platonic, whatever relationship? You might feel like you need to go solo in business or go solo in your relationship. We just don't know yet. So add that to your intent is what I'm saying. Like, really look at your life right now and where it stands. Are you with anybody? Are you working with anybody? Like, all of these things matter this month. January is a very hard, this is a hard start for people. 2019 is a year of great change, but it's really difficult for people this month, especially. It's going to be really difficult for people because they dragged their bullshit from 2018 into this year. And that's most people, because of Venus in Scorpio, okay? Now, it's up to you to take, responsibility and acknowledge what the fuck is going on in your life and really just, hammer it out and just tear, right now, because Venus is still in Scorpio, you might have a hard time letting go of toxic things in your life or the toxicities in your life right now. So you might not be ready to, but maybe you'll want to wait until Sagittarius comes along where you're just like, okay, I can do it. I can do it. I can step away from this. I can move on with my life, or you can at least think about it differently than you are right now. But those are the important planets that we need to watch out for. Also, Uranus turns direct and it's in Aries right now and January 7th. So what does that mean? Uranus influences our change, our originality, but then also, this is the planet of rule breaking. This is the planet of society in general. Because it was in retrograde, we found that a lot of people were being impulsive. A lot of people were being aggressive about their direct environment, like change in their direct environment, right? Now, this was also a sign, Aries is the first zodiac sign. So these were people who were also being a little bit more selfish about their needs and their wants. Now that it's turning direct, you can find the positive traits of Aries coming out. Now, this one is a little bit different because it depends heavily on aspects. Again, this is a lesser planet, meaning the planets furthest away from us are planets that we have less understanding about. And they also have less impact. The planets closer to us are the ones that we know more about and have more impact on us, okay? Now with Uranus, it will probably depend on your Uranus. People like to call it Uranus. Uranus. Anyways, don't let me crack myself up right now. If you have been feeling rebellious lately, you, especially when it turns direct and we go into Venus, goes into Sagittarius, you will feel more motivated, more, empowered with your ideas, with the change in yourself. So even though we might not all commit, I'm not saying that we all won't commit, even though we might not all commit to the changes in our life for the better, at least you'll be more inspired to change, right? Even though you might not act on it, you might feel more motivated to be more positive about the changes in your life. Like I said, 2019 is a year of great changes for the majority of us. Just don't crack under the pressure of Capricorn, okay? Just don't do it. If you start to feel a little stressed out, if you start to feel like, you're feeling way down, or you feel like, this earth is just too much, it's crushing me, then you need to just take a break, protect your energy at all costs. Now, that was it for the whole week. These are things that you guys need to watch out for. I mean, I can go on and on and on and on, but I don't want to drag it out and say the same repetitive stuff. I think you guys get and understand what I'm trying to say. And I'm excited for the new year. I'm going to be more consistent with my podcast. I'm also going to try to do more YouTube videos if you guys don't know it. I mean, I have the same username across the board. Zodianz, my Instagram, my Facebook, my everything, right? And also I'm also open for bookings and stuff like that. If you want to get a spiritual session with me, you can look it up. And my new book, The Reality of Spirituality, is also out now for only $1.11. And you guys can also buy that. It's an ebook. It's a PDF through my website as well. And you guys can learn again, the reality of spirituality. I'll talk to you guys next week, next Sunday for Zodianz Zundayz. And you guys have a great week. And just remember what I said, and I'll try to apply it to yourself. Okay. Be open-minded. Try to apply it to yourself. And I'll talk to you guys next week. Bye.